So, Doctor Who fans, here we are for another Doctor Who news video. As we prepare to talk about the synopsis for the Interstellar Song Contest, this is the episode that obviously Russell was very concerned whether it was going to air or not, but it looks like it is going to still go ahead, considering the fact that they've managed to get the football to air around 3:30, which means it should, and with the extra 2 hours that's given it, it should be able to finish on time, 7:10. So then that way, Doctor Who can finally transmit the Interstellar Song Contest episode, which this episode, by the way, the synopsis may tell you that we're in for big surprises, big stuff happening in this story. As the synopsis reads this, and by the way, it airs at, again, 7:10. TARDIS bounces the Doctor and Melinda in the Harmony Arena in deep into outer space in the year 2925. Very future there. And the biggest night of the year, 3 trillion life forms from 40 million planets are watching the 803rd Interstellar Song Contest, the Eurovision type concert hosted by the very well-preserved Ryland, where planets from across the universe compete for the top prize. The Doctor and Belinda are looking forward to the fun, to an evening of fun, but someone is planning to hijack the event, putting everyone's lives in danger. A harmless night of fun soon becomes a battle to survive. However, meanwhile, outside of the audience, events take an unexpected turn for Mrs. Flood. Get ready for darker, wilder, and tougher ride full of shock and surprises than the title would suggest. I know, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I had my suspicion this particular episode, the first of a 3-part, and I've been saying, I know I've been saying this for the couple of weeks that I've had this suspicion that the Interstellar Song Contest would be similar to Utopia, basically have a massive reveal that's going to lead into it becoming a 3-parter. Like it's going to be one of those surprise 3-parters that we saw in 2007. So yeah, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, if you go and watch Utopia, right, you can watch it on BBC iPlayer. Links to the description. In Utopia, you have a character called Yarn. He's this professor. Assuming he's just this professor character who, he's just minding his own business. He's got his friend. They try to figure out a solution to help people get off the planet or head to Utopia. But then he keeps having these flashbacks, and you don't know. Most of us just don't know what it is. Don't know what's happening to him. All of a sudden, Martha realizes he has a fog watch similar to the Doctor, which led to him finally being revealed as the Master and eventually regenerate into the John Sim version. Would obviously be give him the title of Harold Saxon, so the Master disguised himself as the Prime Minister the entire time. Crazy, isn't it, to think, it's crazy, isn't it, to think, that episode actually happened, and now I'm starting to believe this story, the Interstellar Song Contest, is going to be similar to Utopia, where some massive is going to happen. Even Russell has said to SFX, this reveal is going to change how we see Doctor Who forever. Strong words coming out from our showrunner. If that doesn't tell you something big's going to happen, I don't know what will. That tells me they are going to finally reveal Mrs. Flood's identity, which I know that one of the ongoing conversation, what has been the ongoing conversation in the regards to this series. Who the heck is Mrs. Flood? Everyone's been asking that question. I believe next Saturday, finally know who she is. I am so ready for it. Honestly, I cannot wait to find out who she is. I really do. I have my suspicions that, I want it to be a Time Lord. Then I also believe that it's going to be a lot than just her being labeled as, okay, for instance, the Rani. Much, much bigger than that, I feel. So if it's not the Rani, it's bound to be 10 times bigger than what. But I still believe it's a time. For someone like her to keep popping up in different scenarios, you have to have some form of a time machine to do that. And I'm still convinced that she is a time. It's just a question of how much big of a time is she really? I think she's probably got high authority, and that's why she's been keeping herself very well hidden from the Doctor for this long, just so she can prepare him this moment. Also come out from Culture Box that I thought I might as well disclaim here. In fact, I might as well just choose a couple here. All right, so in terms of some pointers that they do mention about Archie Pandora, who is thought to be playing a villain in this series, is yet to show up in the series, so it's possible we could see this character pop up during the Interstellar Song Contest. So that character we definitely need to keep our eyes on, because it could be a very important character, considering they haven't showed this character yet. Makes me think it could be somebody working for Mrs. Flood. We'll have to wait and see. And then there's also apparently the sponsor for the Interstellar Song Contest has apparently got the name Puppy puppy in it, which is also interesting because the only puppy charity we know is the one that happens around Remembrance time, which is the Puppy Trust, those red puppies that we wear during Remembrance Day. So I was thinking, could it be that in the future? But then again, why would a Remembrance charity be hosting a song contest is kind of what I was thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it does, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't make sense because of the fact that, because of what they do, Remembrance Day wise, why I think it doesn't make sense, but it could be a completely different company they're referring to. And then, of course, I think this is the part, right? Well, this note right here is probably, I believe, is going to sell this story to people because Russell T Davies has said he has warned fans to stay offline and watch the Interstellar Song Contest unspoiled. Now, I believe by him saying those words, that tells me that is telling me there is massive implications going on in this story, and that tells me that this story is going to tie in nicely Wish World. That's what I think is what's going to happen there, and I am so ready to see what they're going to do with this story alone. I feel like this story is going to blow our mind what they're going to do with it. I mean, sure, most people will make fun of it because it's like a Eurovision. I think it's going to be a lot more than just a Eurovision episode. I believe there's a lot. I honestly cannot wait to see how it will play out for Doctor Who. I feel like the show of Doctor Who is going to definitely change in some aspects. It's just we don't how it's going to change, but I'm sure it's going to change after this story is aired. But either way, 7 next week, you'll get to see. I'm very confident we're going to learn who Mrs. Flood is next week, and I can't to see who is she really? Is she really? I'm still convinced she's a Time Lord. It's just a question of which Time Lord specifically are we looking at? Are we looking at the Rani, possibly the Master, which I feel like it wouldn't be the Master, but does seem like she could be working with the Master in some way. But then also at the same time, there's also this song. Nevertheless, we'll have that to look forward to next Saturday, where we'll finally get some information as to who she is. And I like to believe we're going to find out who she is next week. And I think from Russell's comments, I think we're definitely heading on that path, and I'm very happy. Obviously, we do have to acknowledge the pictures that have come out for the story and the engine, because yes, images are finally starting to release for the story and the engine episode of Doctor Who. I mean, I like, to be fair, I like this image here next to the barber. It's interesting because the way they've labeled the barber makes it sound like be related to the Doctor's people. There has been that discussion about could he be Time Lord related? Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it is, especially with the way they've written the barber in terms of how the title is represented. I feel like there is something there to make me think, yes, it's someone related to his people, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are about a member of the Time Lord race that we haven't seen before for the first time, which I'm actually all for, because it means that we're finally going to maybe learn about this character that the Doctor has known for so many years, but this is the first time we're actually meeting him on screen, so it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say about the fact that the Doctor hasn't visited him for so long. So I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. But so that's interesting. Some interesting stuff. And in fact, there's an article BBC have put out talking to the stars of the episode and even the writer and the director about this episode. If you want to read about what they've said about this story, Pacific story, the engines, you read about that. It airs like I said, it airs this weekend at 7 if you want to see the story of the engine. And of course, I'll be reviewing it obviously tomorrow, so you can check that out. So yes, tomorrow night, 7 if you want to watch on BBC One and internationally on Disney Plus. Just some other stuff we also need to obviously talk about is the fact that John Pertwee's got his own CD release coming up. They've decided to release a CD dedicated to John Pertwee, and it's related to it's actually got 2 stories in it: Doctor and the Curse of Peladon, and the Planet of the Spiders, as well as archive interviews and radio performances, which is like a 3-hour, 30-minute, approximately CD release, which is interesting. They've announced this. They don't really tell us much about why they're releasing it, but it's coming out on the 4th of July for those who might be interested in getting their hands on an audio release featuring some 2 stories of John Pertwee's now in audio form, as well as some archive interviews with the man himself and some radio appearances that John Pertwee did in the past, whilst being Doctor Who if you want to what it's like to be the Time Lord Doctor Who. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be hearing some stuff about that pretty soon. But yes, so that's really cool. We're going to be getting some stuff, and then of course alongside that they've also revealed some stuff about the Titan Funko Pops that are being released for the Who shop. There is one TARDIS with a VHS glitch going on, which is based on Legend of Ruby Sunday episode with the time window, so you can get your hands on that at the Who shop now. And then they've also got the Bad Wolf one to celebrate 20 years of New Who, if you want to. And also, by the way, this one even glows in the dark as well. So yes, this whole spray paint TARDIS actually glows when you're in the dark. Either way, there'll be a link in the description if you want to get your hands on these new Funko Pops that are coming to the Who shop. And then this is also kind of cool. They're also releasing little peep to Who figures, or at least I like to look at them as like action figures in a way. But yeah, this is essentially a new form of action figures that they're starting to roll out. I mean, it's currently rolling out in the States. Maybe it will come here at some point. They've got a range of action figures to sell of new Who Doctors from Fisher Price, where you can get your hands on 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th Doctors with, some of them with their accessories and some without. Well, at least one of them doesn't have an accessory. But either way, you're now able to get your hands on all these Doctors in the US as part of a Little People's collection that they're doing for Doctor Who, and hopefully they will bring this set to the UK. I mean, it's currently available in the US, but I'd like to be hopeful it will come to the UK eventually, because I feel like they need to bring it to the UK because it does look, and I think people in the UK would love to get their hands on something like this as part of their collection. I think it would be really cool. So yeah, so hopefully the us UK fans will get the opportunity to get our hands on Little People soon. Really, really cool to have that if we're lucky enough to get it. But apart from that, really, I mean, there isn't, like I said, there isn't that much news to discuss at this time, really, because I mean, I know there isn't going to be a lot to talk about until they start hyping up finale of Doctor Who, because of course they're going to be in the cinemas very soon. Yeah, it's either way, it's interesting nevertheless. Well, I mean, we're all very excited about what is going to happen for the final episodes of Doctor Who, so it's going to be really I feel like the finale is going to be, I feel like we're going to be in for a treat, absolutely. And by the way, the Doctor Who.tv has actually released a prequel to the story and the engine, which you can now read online, by the way, if you want to read it. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing weekend, whatever you're going to do, and hopefully you can join me for the review of the story of the end tomorrow night. So yes, and also for anybody who is wanting to say, especially for those who wanted to say happy birthday to me, considering it was my birthday just recently, then by all means comment away in the comment section.